Hey, at the sound of the Buddy Holly riff, it's a sign that you are tuned into the 125th SongBike Guitar Q&A Livestream. Hey, everybody, hope you're doing well. Sorry for the delayed start. Let's make up for it by getting into some good stuff right away. Why are we here? We're here for your questions. Ask me a question. If you have a guitar-related question, why not ask a guitar teacher? In between your questions, lots to talk about today. We have everything from Buddy Holly 101 to what I'm calling big scales. Scales as you've never played them before. I think you're going to dig it. What else we have? We're going to talk about the hidden Grammy nominations. The last episode, because tomorrow is the Grammys. I have some very cool performers to turn you on to, just in case you're not familiar with them. People who have been nominated for Grammys that you might not be aware of. What else? We have a student quote of the week. We have, of course, our Playalong song of the week. We have a cool one. The theme for tonight's show is kind of awards in general. We have my own dumb question of the week. We have a segment that I like to call Should I Sell Out? One offer this week I'm going to share with you. Famous artists who have never won a Grammy Award. Some of you might remember this from last year. We're going to talk about, again, that whole list. We'll talk about that again this year. And a poll question. Here's the poll question I have for you. YouTube is still fighting me on posting a poll in our traditional way. I reached out to YouTube as to why things have changed on my end, and they did not get back to me. But here's the poll question. Answer in the chat. The poll question of the week. Do music awards matter to you? If you heard an album got a Grammy Award or Grammy nomination, would you be more likely to listen to that album? If you were aware that a performer was a Grammy Award-winning performer, would that make it more likely that you would listen to that performer? I don't know. Do awards matter to you? A lot of people have never got a Grammy Award or any kind of award, and yet they are household names. So would that make any difference to you? Maybe, maybe not. How about someone who you've never heard of before? They're coming through your town, but on the poster it says, Grammy nominee so-and-so. Would you be more likely to see that person? I don't know. That's a poll question of the night. Let us know in the chat how you feel about that. I am monitoring the chat, but I got to do it on my phone. I don't know why. We have a super chat. We have 2 super chats already. You guys are making super chat donations before the show started. I appreciate that. Thank you, Randy, and thank you, Brian, for your super chat donations. Okay, so hello to everybody watching live. Hello to everybody in the chat. Let's get right into learning something. The first thing we're going to do today is a thing that I call big scales. That's what we need right there. And it's going to be big on your screen, okay? It's going to be nice and big. Here it comes. Share. As usual, if your screen goes black for a moment, don't worry. Don't worry. We're still here. But take a look at what's on the screen. What we have there is, it happens to be a D minor scale, specifically a D harmonic minor scale, harmonized with other notes from the D harmonic minor scale. So the names of the chords up above, D minor, A7, all that kind of stuff, don't spend too much time worrying about that. And if your screen is still black, don't worry, it's gonna be full of information in a minute. You're not missing anything. Don't worry. Don't worry. While in case some of you are getting a black screen, oh, there it is. Here's the sound of what we're going to do. Okay, you have a D harmonic minor scale that's being harmonized. Okay, so again, what's happening here is a scale harmonized with lower notes that are still part of the scale. Okay, your first mission at the moment, right? You got your guitar, right? You got some sort of pick or finger ready to go. Play the top note of each stack of numbers. By the way, the very first thing is a 3 on top of a 2 on top of a 0. But for the moment, only play the top number of each group. So it's going to be 3, 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10. I'm going to play it without talking. Just the top note of each stack. One more time. The harmonic minor scale. It's a very cool sound. Okay. The second mission, oh, by the way, that first stack of numbers is a 3 on top of a 2 on top of another 3. I misspoke a second ago. 3 on top of a 2 on top of a 3. Okay, now I'm calling this a big scale because every scale note has some buddies underneath it, right? In general, I'm going to encourage you to put your hand in first position. That means your index is in charge of any first fret note. Middle is in charge of any second fret note. Ring finger is in charge of any third fret note. The very first stack, 3, 2, 3, why not do it this way? Pinky, second string 3. Middle finger, third string 2. Ring finger, fourth string 3. It's a little triangle kind of shape. By the way, even though these are stacked up, you don't have to strum it like a chord. You could arpeggiate those notes. So that's the first chord. The second one, 0, 2, 0. Just use your middle finger. And here's why I want you to use your middle finger on that. Because your index is now ready for what's coming up next, which I bet a lot of you recognize as a standard D minor chord. So far, here's the sound. And then, there we go. Those are the first 3 chords right there. Okay, next, G minor, 3, 3, 3. That's a 3, 3, 3. See how my ring finger from the D minor chord, the ring finger's waiting right there at the 3rd fret? My advice, just clamp down that ring finger across the 3 treble strings at the 3rd fret. You don't have to do that. Whatever you do, don't use 3 separate fingers to squeeze those 3 notes. It's too much effort. Any one finger can get the job done. And I encourage you to use your ring finger, but any one finger. And that is a G minor chord. Okay, next, essentially what it is, an A major chord, 5, 5, 6. And again, don't use 3 separate fingers. Just bar the 2 treble strings at 5, middle finger. Right? That might remind you of your friend, the F chord, right? Except it's the F chord only on 3 strings. And it's shifted up to the 5th and 6th frets. Next, I've labeled it a G minor chord, but 6, 8, 7. It feels like the D minor chord. In fact, take your D minor chord and glide it up until your index is on 6, and then your ring finger's on 8, and your middle's on 7. That is a G minor chord. What I've labeled that towards the end there, an A7 chord, 9, 8, 7. Guess what? That chord, it's the same as a D7 glided up the neck to 9, 8, 9. And there's some serious tension in that chord. That leads us to that moment of resolution on the 10, 10, 10 D minor chord. And again, I'm just using my ring finger on that. Okay, now without me talking, I'm going to just play through this smooth and steady. I'm going to arpeggiate the chords just to bring out the beauty. And of course, you can do it backwards. Now, questions, comments. I'm looking in the chat to see what you guys are talking about. Is this a scale? Yes. Are these chords? Yes. But keep in mind, any chord, all a chord is select notes from a specific scale, played together. Okay. All right. Select notes from the scale, from any scale, played together. This happens to be a D harmonic minor scale, and Every note you see is a note from the D harmonic minor scale. By the way, for those of you keeping track, the actual notes of a D harmonic minor scale are D, not surprising, E, F, G, A, watch out, B flat, watch out, C sharp, and then of course we end on D. So it's almost the letters of the alphabet: D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C sharp, and then back to D again, you know, the harmonic minor scale. Why did I choose the harmonic minor scale to illustrate this way of playing a scale? Believe it or not, this is a little bit easier than the equivalent thing with a major scale. Okay, now what can you do with this aside from give your brain a workout, hand-eye coordination, all the physical, you know, benefits you get from this? You could write a tune. You could solo with this. I would suggest start off by writing a tune to give your song, your new song here, to give it some coherence. Pick any one of the D minors. Notice there are 3 that are labeled D minor, right? Pick any one of those D minors and make that your starting point. Periodically return to one of the D minors during your song, and for sure end on a D minor. You know, that'll make the song, that'll keep the listener's ear focused on your composition, right? You want the listener to know that you're in charge, that they can trust you. You're gonna take off nice and smoothly from the runway. You're going to keep them entertained during the flight, not too entertained, you know, and then you're going to bring them in for a smooth landing, right? And the way you do that is to have a beginning and a middle and an end, as my mom used to say. A beginning, hey mom, my mom is often watching these live streams. My brother's in town. My big brother might be watching this as well. Hey, you guys. Hey, shout out to our moderators. Music Fan is one of our moderators, and so is a moderator named Beginner Guitar Lessons. And when their names show up in the chat, their names are in blue, and that's how you know that is one of our moderators. So thanks to our moderators today. Okay, so is this a interesting little workout? Yep. But can you do something with it? For sure. So I'm going to make up a riff. I'm going to start with a D minor, the 3rd stack of numbers there, what I would call the standard D minor chord. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to do D minor, the 3-3-3 G right next to it, the G minor, the higher G minor, the 6-8-7 G minor, back to the 3-3-3 G minor, and ending up back where I start on the D minor. So you know, to have fun with this stuff, you don't have to use every single, you know, color of the rainbow, right? I didn't even do any of the A or A7 chords there, right? I just did one D minor and 2 different G minors. But all right, now we're up and running. I went up to that 9-8-9 A7. Since it's your tune, you can build in empty space between the strums to help your fretting hand get to the new location. You know, it's your song. Build in some buffers, right? If this is tricky for you to zip between these different chord grips, as I imagine it is, yeah, that's why you write your own song, you know, because then you get to make the rules, so to speak. Okay, questions, comments? Hey, don't forget, when you do have a question, I'll put a bunch of question marks in advance of the question in the chat, so I know your question is aimed at me. So you guys, maybe you can see why I'm calling this a big scale, because it is a scale. If you want to train your ear to hear the scale, you know, as you play across the page, play the top note of each group first. And then make an effort when you strum, you know, the 3-note versions, make an effort to make that top note pop out a little bit louder. And if there's any trick to making the top note pop a little louder, you hold the pick nice and loosely, really loosely. But when you get to that top note, you squeeze the pick a little tighter, and it pops out a little bit. Again, you're keeping, if you play it that way, you are keeping the listener's ear focused on the loud sound, which in this case is the note sequence that we call the D harmonic minor scale. So if you want to truly write a song, not just a cool little riff, but a song using this stuff, you could write a song using the versions of these chords that you're comfortable with. So write a song with, this D minor, the regular D minor. It's got that A7, the nice 2-finger A7. You could do G minor as a bar chord, or to tell you the truth, that little 3-3-3 G minor. I mean, that is a legitimate G minor chord. So you could write this song with words and everything, but then use what's on the screen there to make up a cool introduction. Give the song a signature riff. By the way, don't let the G minor bar chord, don't let that discourage you. I'm barring across all 6 strings at the 3rd fret with my index, and then my ring finger's on the 5th string, 5th fret. My pinky's on the 4th string, 5th fret. If you're not good at bar chords, there's no reason why you can't, for the moment, continue writing your song using that 3-3-3 G minor. Just that, essentially, it's a fragment of the bar chord. Okay, you guys good with that? I'm going to say, I'm going to check in the chat. I'm going to say a few hellos to all the happy people I see here in the chat. Scott, Charlie, hello. Bruce from Sydney, Australia, hello. Ryan, Christian from Denmark, hello. Chaz, Roger, Brian, hello. John Cavallo, hello, John. Stuart, Debbie Joseph, who else am I seeing? Barry, hello. Matt, hello. Hope you guys are doing well. Everyone dug out. I'm not going to complain about all the snow we got, because I know you guys got, many of you got a serious dose of winter just recently. A little too much winter for my taste. A little bit too much. And it's not over by a long shot. That's what it feels like anyways. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to shut this down. What you are looking at, though, will be available very soon on my website as a PDF in the PDF section. There's well over 100 PDFs available for you at my website, song-bike.com. Become a member. You can access all that stuff. Okay, Scott, I see your question. Oh, hey, Dave, thanks for joining the chat. Scott, I'm looking at your question. Rob from the UK. Hey, Rob. Okay, Scott, I'm reading your question. Okay, Scott, you're asking a question near and dear to my heart. Scott is asking about the Sweetwater affiliate link that I provide to you guys. So if you click on that link and you go to Sweetwater based on the Sweetwater link that I provide, whatever you buy, Sweetwater sends a tiny bit of that money to support what we all do here. So Scott says, affiliate links can work 2 ways, a percentage of the sale or clicks where sales amount. Yeah, Scott, you might know more about it than I do, but what I do know is whatever proceeds Sweetwater sends to SongBike, it's a direct percentage of the sale. And I thank you in advance. I know you guys are using the affiliate link because once a month I get a little direct deposit from Sweetwater. That's their way of thanking me, and so I'm here to thank you. So I get a little percent. I think 4%. Sweetwater sends me when you use the affiliate link. Where do you find that affiliate link? Well, it's in the description of this live stream. And it doesn't mean when you click on that link, it doesn't mean that you spend any more money. You don't pay a surcharge or anything like that. And you don't have to buy something right away. I think it's about 2 weeks. For about 2 weeks, Sweetwater is aware that song-bike.com sent you to Sweetwater. And I encourage, especially, especially if you're making a big purchase, if you're going to make a big purchase from Sweetwater anyways, Sweetwater, they're going to be okay. They're going to survive. So if you're shopping there anyways, I appreciate it. So yeah, thanks for asking. Thanks for asking about that, Scott. Hey, Chan, I see your question. Chan is asking, Jonathan, when you write your own songs, do you usually start with the lyrics or the melody? It's all a blur. It's all a blur. I would. It's word a phrase, you know, a verbal phrase like. I'll give you a good one, although nobody steal this from me. But I was with some preschool kids. I was making my twice a month visit to a local preschool where I teach music twice a month. Very, you know, a quick little visit, and it must have been the beginning of the new year. And I said to the kids, "Oh, I just want to say Happy New Year." And this one kid, this little cynical 4-year-old, he kind of looks at the ground. He goes, "Happy Old Year." And I thought, "Happy Old Year." Oh man, I wrote it down. I'm like, that there's a song in there somewhere, Happy Old Year, you know? Okay, so a phrase like that will be in my mind, and I'll sing it as a melody. And sometimes that's how things start, you know? What I've been trying to do is write a whole lot of poetic ideas, quote, quote, write a whole lot of lyrics with some sort of coherence and feeling behind them. So I have that ready. So when I have a melody in mind, I don't have to go hunting for an idea. I have lyrics I can start seeing if I can fit them into the melody, you know? Recently, my buddy Clay and I have been collaborating where he writes a guitar riff, chord progression, drum beat without any melody or lyrics whatsoever. So all I have to do is come up with melody and lyrics on top. And that's been really fun. Hey, before I forget, March 15th, Sunday, March 15th, the Ides of March, I'm going to be performing for you. It's a Sunday, probably sometime in the middle of the afternoon. Knock on wood, we're going to be performing from our rehearsal space with a bunch of musicians. It's not just me and Clay, but we have some other musicians joining us, playing a whole bunch of original songs for you. So Sunday, March 15th. Should be a great time to hang out Sunday afternoon. Why not? All original stuff, singing, lights, microphones, all that good stuff. We have a very cool rehearsal space and with a lot of character and something that we have in the works. So Sunday, March 15th. Okay. So Chan, I have a feeling I didn't directly answer your question. That's because for me, it's such a fluid process. I can tell you one thing that I have found tricky in the past is when I have a very exact melody in mind, and then I have to like shoehorn in some lyrics to fit that melody. In the past, I found that tricky, especially if I have no lyrical ideas. So that's why I like to have lots of lyrical ideas handy. So if I've made up my mind what the melody should be, I have lots of opportunities as opposed to starting with no lyrical ideas. So, you know, when in doubt, write a whole bunch of words, you know, and have a whole bunch of words that you feel, you know, are meaningful to you. So you can have a whole lot of choices if you have a melody that you don't want to stray from. But, you know, it really is a back and forth thing. You tweak the melody to fit the lyric, tweak the lyric to fit the melody. That's why it can, for me, I'll leave you with this. When I have a partner who has provided some structure already, then at a minimum, I think, well, I can't really mess with that too much. So at least, I'm not saying that makes everything easy, but I treat that as if it's carved in stone. And that's a load off my mind. Like, well, there it is right there, you know, and I don't have to worry about, well, should I have gone to that minor chord? Should I have done something else? So yeah, great question, tricky question to answer. And yeah. Bruce is asking a question. Bruce says, hey, Jonathan, do you use pedals directly into an amp or do you use effects pedals in a digital audio workstation? Is one method better than the other? I've done both. But Bruce, I bet you're talking about recording specifically. For recording, I have done both. I got this cool little thing. I can't quite show it to you because I'd have to lift it up off the floor. I can show you a picture of it. And I've recently been using this as an interface to record directly. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I want this. And I wonder if I can, I don't know if Reverb sells this. I was going to pull up the Reverb version, the Reverb page. That's okay. Okay, how about that one? Okay. So this is what I've been using. Okay. This is what I got recently when I traded in a whole bunch of equipment and got a whole bunch of stuff. There it is on your screen now. It is the brains of a guitar amplifier. No speaker, just a unit that is, what, about 7 inches by 10 inches and about 2 inches tall. Made by Milkman, very cool company out of San Francisco, California, the Milkman amp. It has reverb and tremolo built in. I bet you can see that right there. Reverb and tremolo built in if you want it. And it will distort if you crank up the volume right there, let's say all the way, and then ease up the master just a tiny bit. You can get some decent distortion out of that. But very cool product, and can definitely, absolutely act as an interface between me and my computer. And I can also, do like a daisy chain thing where effects, I plug into my, what I have right now, actually. This guitar is plugged into a bunch of effects pedals, a nice daisy chain. That daisy chain effects pedals goes into that thing I just showed you. And then at the moment, the thing I just showed you goes into a Milkman cabinet that's back here with two big, two 10-inch speakers. But right now, you guys are just hearing what I'm hearing in the room. I'm not plugged directly into my computer because there's just no need to do that. Also, I want to be able to hear it for like our play-along song in a little bit. Hey, RB is checking in. Hey, RB. So, Bruce, did I answer your question? When I play live, then it's the same deal. My guitar into my effects board and into that white and that goes into that white thing made by Milkman, and then that goes into the cabinet. And the cabinet, just so you know, when you hear someone say a cabinet, it means a box with some speakers, but with no brains, so to speak, right? It's just a box with some speakers. It's a pretty cool box and some pretty cool speakers, but yeah. And then you guys are hearing this microphone, see that microphone right there? The one and only Shure SM57 microphone. There you go. So I hope that answers your question. Hey, John is asking a question, a great question. John says, what small amp would you suggest only for personal use? Oh, there's so many out there. There's so many out there. You know, and you don't have to spend $1 million. So many options. I can tell you what the big popular one right now is, the Boss Katana amp. Katana, the Boss Katana. People love the Boss Katana. And the Spark amp. Let's see. People love all the Spark products. Okay, John, just to pull this up, I'm pulling this up on Amazon, not because I want you guys to necessarily buy this from Amazon, but this is just quick and easy. This, what I'm about to show you, is a very small, this comes in larger sizes as well, but okay, check this out. This will pop up on your screen in a minute. This is a really little one, but they have a variety of models, but these are super popular. The Boss Katana, this is the mini 7-watt amp. This might almost be too small, but hey, for $80, you can't go wrong with that, $80. And then the other one, I'm going to stop sharing that one. many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the Spark family of products, and they keep putting out new things. Some of you know it by the company name called Positive Grid, and Positive Grid makes a variety of things, including little things that are practically handheld, just for kicks. I mean, there's so many of them here, but for most of us, 10 or 20 watts is loud enough. You might say, I'm going to spend extra money to get a 50-watt amp, a 100-watt amp. But if you're playing, in your home, you just don't need that kind of volume, and it might be unsatisfying because it might be hard to get a nice quiet volume. What they call bedroom volumes. I crack up when I hear the term bedroom amps and bedroom volumes. If there's one room in the house where I don't sit around and play the guitar, it's my bedroom. And I venture to say that it's similar for you guys too. Just to give you guys a visual image, here's okay, check this out. This is maybe about as small as they come, but one of my students gave me one of these very generously. Boom, 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 boom. And this really is handheld. Okay, this will pop up on your screen in a second. A 5-watt ultra portable smart guitar amp. It connects to an app and can do all this stuff. It's very fun. $150. Now this is super small. It does the job, but you might not want or need something quite that small. Anyways, John, those are two of the things that come to mind. The Boss Katana family of amps and the Positive Grid Spark family of amps. Hope that helps. I have not tried any of the Boss Katana stuff myself, but I have students who have the Positive Grid Spark stuff, and they're very happy with it. So I hope that helps. Okay. Okay, I'm looking at what you guys, Harrison, I see Harrison's in the chat. Charlie Beagle uses a 10-watt Black Star amp. Charlie says, have you ever had to replace tubes on a 2-amp, and how expensive are the tubes? I did it one time, and I couldn't believe how easy it was. I thought, wow, when you change a light bulb, you still have to rotate the light bulb to screw it in, right? With a tube, you push it in. So it was actually easier than changing a light bulb. Now, the electronics involved in tube amps are beyond the scope of what I present to you guys. I'm not an electronics guy. I certainly don't know everything about tube amps. So check with your doctor before doing any of this stuff. And please be careful with the amplifiers. Don't go sticking your finger in an amplifier. Even unplugged amplifiers full of voltage. Don't just, I need you to be here next week. Don't start digging around in your amplifier. But having said that, I made sure that the replacement tubes that I bought were the appropriate one for the amp. And I just pulled out the old one, sorry, and pushed in the new one, and the amp worked great. And I thought, wow, I just did that. There's a ton of tubes out there, and you can educate yourself about all the possibilities. But you want to make sure you're using the right type of tube. And then once you determine what the right type is, then there's a lot of options in terms of brands and prices and all that kind of stuff. But the actual process, physical process, is not a hard process. Unless somehow the amps are hard to access, but I don't see why. I've never seen an amp myself where the tubes are hard to access. If anything, you have to watch out because tubes, as you know, get super hot. So you actually don't want to reach your hand in, nice, and you don't want to take advantage of how easy it is to change a tube while the other tubes are still hot, burn yourself. Charlie says, I have bad memories replacing TV tubes. Yeah, I think they've made it easier, but again, it's not my field of expertise. And that experience I'm talking about could have easily been 15 years ago that I changed 1 or 2 tubes in a little Fender amp I had. But number 1, educate yourself. Number 2, be careful, and then decide on your price point. I'm sure there's a lot of price points. Scott says that he got that Spark amp for Christmas. Excellent. It's something you can take out on your patio in warm weather. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Okay. Hey, you guys, enough of me chit-chatting. Now is a perfect time to get into our play-along song of the week. We haven't done a John Prine song for a long time. And I believe we've only done one John Prine song. And I thought we got to do another John Prine song. When the world starts getting me down, one of the ways I self-medicate is with John Prine's songs. And I encourage you to do that too. Okay, the reason I chose this particular John Prine song called I Remember Everything is he got a Grammy Award for this song. And since awards are kind of the theme for tonight's show, there we go. I thought, why not? Let's do a song that John Prine got a Grammy for. You may not know this song. You're going to know it in a minute. A fantastic song. So let's get down to business. Song called I Remember Everything by John Prine. We are all going to put capos at the 3rd fret. It's always a good idea, if you have the time and the luxury, once you put the capo on, to double check your tuning. And bear with me. I have my little tuning pedal down on the floor, which works great. So I'm checking my own tuning here. Okay, while I'm doing this, what chords do you need? You need a bunch of G chords. I'm always and forever going to encourage you to do G with your middle, ring, and pinky fingers. Your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers. Don't use your pointer finger. In the case of this song, my logic is G going to A minor and G going to C. It sure works great if you're already doing the G with your middle, ring, and pinky fingers. You guys, especially you regulars, you know this is a topic near and dear to my heart. Notice there's some D7 chords. You're okay with the D7 chord? No big deal, right? I nicknamed that the upside down D chord. Notice what's not here. No Fs, no B minors, no bar chords. John Prine wrote an awful lot of songs with regular chords. Some people call these cowboy chords. Some people call them first position chords. I'm curious. Let me know in the chat if some of you have heard this song before. I'm betting it's a new one for a lot of you. Okay, I'm in tune. So, tell you what, I'm going to play the first little part of this song and let the music speak for itself, and then we'll talk about any little preparation details. Long story short, 4 beats or 4 counts on every chord, every time you see a chord name there. This is just a quick warm-up. We're not going to go through the whole song. I've been down this road before. I remember every tree, every single blade of grass holds a special place for me. And I remember every town and every hotel room and every song I ever sang on a guitar out of tune. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? We're going to do a little fancier strumming than what I just did, but I want to get your ears tuned in. Your ears are your best teachers, right? You got 2 teachers that come for free, right? They come with the equipment. You get them for free. I feel strongly that hearing what you just heard goes a long way towards preparing you to play the song. It's a quick way to get you up to speed without me, talking so much. Okay, so you got a capo on the 3rd fret, G with your middle ring and pinky. Keep your index finger handy because you're going to need it so soon for the A minor. Or at other points in the tune, it's going to go G to C, same thing. What else can I tell you? In terms of left-hand chords, see in the middle of the tune where it says, How I Miss You in the Morning Light, A minor 2, D7 2. That means, unlike the other parts of the song, you're only on the A minor for 2 counts and the D7 for 2 counts. And then it's back to 4 counts. Every time you see every chord name, even if the chord name happens twice, like the very beginning of the song, every time you see an alphabet letter, it means you do that chord for 4 counts. And we'll talk about the exact strumming in a minute. Halfway through the tune, you see there's an interlude in the margin of the paper. Yeah, John Prine took a little break and just let the music speak for itself, did a little interlude thing. Same thing though, 4 counts on the C chord, 4 counts in the G chord, just a little instrumental part in the middle of the tune. Okay, so that's all I really want to say about the chords and the fretting hand. Strumming. He's doing some finger picking. Now we could do someday a little workshop on John Prine finger picking. John Prine, to my knowledge, used mainly his thumb and his pointer finger. I teach my students to use, thumb, index, middle, and ring, like conventional finger picking. But I have to admit, John Prine had quite a career doing a much less sophisticated version of finger picking. So who am I to argue with that? At the moment, we are not going to finger pick the tune. But yeah, those of you who are experienced finger pickers and you're comfortable with finger picking, yeah, it's, and just a nice, alternating bass with a thumb and index on the 3rd string and middle on the 2nd string. We'll do that someday, maybe with another John Prine too. What I'm going to suggest is the nice boom, chicka, boom, chicka. I've been down this road before. I remember every tree. So it's going to be 4 boom chickas per chord name, I should say. Okay, now what does that mean, boom chicka? I'm going to illustrate this in the G chord. You hit some bass string, could be the 6th, could be the 5th, could be the 4th, depends on the chord. Nice firm downstroke, that's the boom. And the chicka is a light brush down up on approximately 3 treble strings. Boom chicka. This is not what John Prine himself is doing, but it fits the song perfectly, and it's a way for us to start playing it in about the next 60 seconds, because that's all there is to it. Boom chicka, boom. And I know a lot of you are good at that already. For G, the boom is on the fat 6th string. For A minor, the 5th string. Also for C, the 5th string. And for D and D7, the 4th string. And I'm going to try to stay true to that as I play it. Okay, you ready to do this? Sure you are. Capo 3rd fret. The Grammy award-winning composition from John Prine called I Remember Everything. I'll see you on the other side. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been down this road before. I remember every tree, every single blade of grass holds a special place for me. And I remember every town and every hotel room and every song I ever sang on a guitar out of tune. I remember everything, things I can't forget. The way you turned and smiled on me the night that we first met. And I remember every night your ocean eyes of blue. How I miss you in the morning light, like roses miss the dew. Interlude. I've been down this road before, alone as I can be. I'm careful not to let my past go sneaking up on me. Got no future in my happiness, though my regrets are few. Sometimes a little tenderness was the best that I could do. I remember everything, things I can't forget. Swim in pools of butterflies, slip right through the net. And I remember every night your ocean eyes of blue. How I miss you in the morning light, like roses miss the dew. How I miss you in the morning light, like roses miss the dew. All right, Sam is saying, I cover this tune. Finger picking, excellent, excellent, excellent. So some of you guys know this song? I hope so. Yeah, was it the last song he wrote? Maybe that's what Sam is saying. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so as usual, as a tune, worked its way towards the end, I started adding one more little detail. So let me show you. Some of you might have picked up on this. Here's the detail I added. I'm going to illustrate this in the G chord. Boompa chicka, boompa chicka. It was boom chicka, boom chicka. I changed it to, well, I added one more note. Boompa chicka, boompa chicka. So what I do, a downstroke on the 6th string, just like I started the tune, but then a quick smooth upstroke on the 4th string. That's the boompa. The chicka is still the boompa chicka. There's not a whole lot that can go wrong. If the new note happens to be the 5th string or the 3rd string, because I missed the 4th string, those notes are still harmonious. So just then I was dancing around. The 2nd note of every sequence was with different string. The pattern's pretty forgiving unless you're playing a chord where you're supposed to avoid certain strings, but you'll do just fine. So why did I change to that strum pattern? It's because the straight boom chicka on a relatively slow song like this can start to feel a little dragging. Boom chicka, boom. It's not bad, but watch. Hear the difference? A minor. I'm going down on the 5th and up on the 4th. On the D or D7, I might go down on the 4th and up on the 3rd. Don't overthink it. Your arm and your wrist, to them, it's just another upstroke, right? Down, up, down, up. If I make it look smooth, that's because it is smooth. I'm asking my hand to do the smoothest thing it can do. Down, up, down, up, down, up. The challenge is being relaxed, being confident, not worrying if you happen to hit a wrong string. Because like I said, there almost are no wrong strings. Okay, so the boompa chicka pattern. By the way, patterns such as that one are illustrated with examples in my ebook called The Strum Pattern Bible. Head over to song-bike.com and get yourself a copy of the Strum Pattern Bible. It's full of strum patterns like that one. And with every strum pattern, I connect it with a song that actually uses that strum pattern. So for those of you who would like to learn more strum patterns and want to become better rhythmic strummers, it's a great book. The Strum Pattern Bible. It also has a bunch of common, useful, relatively easy finger-picking patterns as well. Available for you at song-bike.com. It's an electronic book. As soon as you click on purchase, it gets emailed to you as a PDF. It's not a book you have to wait for at the mailbox. It comes to your inbox right away. So I recommend it. The Strum Pattern Bible. Okay. So how'd you guys do with that, by the way? Pretty good. Scott used a pick. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, nice, nice. Pretty tune, right? Now, I hope there's one of you out there, one person who has never heard of John Prine, and now you're like, I'm going to check out his other stuff, because John Prine, it's just, his music is just plain good for you. It's good for you. That's the best way I can put it. I always feel better after listening to John Prine songs. What can I say? Thank you, John Prine, for all the great music. Sam is saying there's a news article in the Tennessean newspaper that goes into great detail about the recording of that song, recording in his living room. So I saw that video, Sam. So is that, I guess that's, I thought that might be the case. The video of you see in his living room of John Prine playing that song, that is the recording. Is that right? And it was the last song he ever did. Holy moly. I did not know that. I'm not totally surprised, but I didn't know that. Interesting fact. Wow. Wow, interesting. Okay. By the way, don't go anywhere. In the description of this live stream, I just might hang in there. Okay, look at what I'm going to share on the screen. For those of you who are John Prine fans, or even those of you who don't know him at all, take a look at your screen. I did a little Wikipedia search for John Prine and Grammy Awards, and check that out, man. Starting in 1972, he was nominated for Best New Artist. Look at all those nominations in pink. And then he won for Contemporary Folk Album, The Missing Years, 1991. He won again in 2005. I actually didn't know he got this many Grammy Awards. And there you go. We Just Played. I Remember Everything, in which he was for which he was given Grammy Award for a Best American Roots Song, Best American Roots Performance, and a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2020. Very cool. Anyways, now you know a little bit more about John Prine. His face should be on the $2 bill. That's what I think. Anyways, thanks for doing that song with me, everybody. I was just in the mood to do a John Prine song. I believe Angel from Montgomery, that's the only John Prine we've done so far in our live streams. You know, we've done so many of these play-along songs in our live streams. Every once in a while, I throw the list up on the screen because I can't believe how many we've done. And this list I'm going to show you is not completely up to date. I'm so sorry. I have my own copy of an up-to-date list, but check this out. What are we looking at here? I don't want that. What you're about to see, that's it right there. Okay. In case some of you aren't aware, we've been at this for a while, you and me, right? Okay. So you're looking at the SongBike Livestream weekly play-alongs. And there's a bunch that we've done that are not on this list yet. Next to the name of the song, for instance, Give Me Some Lovin', is the number live stream that has that song as the featured song, the play-along song. So Give Me Some Lovin', we did in live stream number 60. How would you possibly find that, particular live stream? I have a playlist on my YouTube channel here of all the live streams. Or you could just do a, YouTube search for SongBike, SongBike, all one word, SongBike live stream 60, right? But the easiest way would be to go to the playlist within my YouTube channel and scroll down to live stream number 60. So yeah, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. And that's not even all of them. But we did Paradise. See that up at the top? So we've done 2 John Prine songs prior to this. Okay. Anyways, thanks for hearing me. I'm very proud of that list. That list reflects a lot of, sort of the, where my teaching has led, to a big list of great songs that are relatively easy to play. So thanks for being on the journey with me, everybody. All right, I'm checking into the chat. RB, you're saying the screen, you didn't see that in the screen. Did anybody see that in the screen? I'll put it back up. I know sometimes for no obvious reason, it takes a minute for the screen to pop up. Okay, I'll put it back on the screen. Boom. Where'd it go? Right there. And there. Okay. Yeah, you can see it now. Christian saying, is he like Townes Van Zandt? Yeah, I would see those guys. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't want the songwriter police to come out and jump all over me. But yeah, it's easy to say those two guys were coming from a similar tradition: acoustic guitar, a handful of chords, and really great lyrics and recognizable voices as well. Yeah. Okay, if any of you would like a copy of that list, it's easy for me to email that to you. Send me an email at info@song-bike.com. info@song-bike.com. Maybe in the subject line, put song list or something like that. I'll know what it's about. And I'm happy to send you a very up-to-date version of that list. But that's a lot of tunes. Okay, yeah, Buddy Holly, let's get into it. It's not too late for you to ask a question, but since we got, I'm going to close this and close this. There's Buddy Holly. You guys might remember that not too many weeks ago, I went to the source of many, many, many guitar books, the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut. And at the Book Barn, I got lots of books, including this Buddy Holly book, Play Guitar with Buddy Holly, 6 of his greatest songs. It comes with a CD to play along with it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get my, what did I pay for this? $4. They're all $4. I'm going to get my $4 worth. So this is my source from the Hal Leonard publications, Play Guitar with Play Guitar with Buddy Holly, the Guitar Tab edition, published by Hal Leonard. That was the source of the information you were looking at right there. So Buddy Holly 101. Let's have some fun with Buddy Holly. Here are five things that you can learn from studying the great playing and songs of Buddy Holly. All right. So let's take it from the top. In the song Words of Love, Buddy Holly does a cool thing. Sliding into a D chord. Okay, so see where it says Words of Love on the left-hand side, the top example. You see the capital letter A, that stands for an A major chord, and those 4 slash marks, for our purposes, that just represents 4 gentle, steady downstrokes. You know, the real action comes next when he slides into that D chord. All right, let's go here. So if I were to start strumming on the A, hold me close and tell me how you feel. Okay, the A's are the easy part. You see that 1-2-1 and those 3 slash diagonal lines that lead to 2-3-2? Okay. Has that little smiley face underneath. So what that means is you take your D grip, your D chord, but back it up 1 fret towards the headstock, towards the nut. Now it's a 1-2-1. Technically, it's a D flat chord. Buddy Holly slides into the D chord. Instead of just playing the D chord, he slides into it. Gives it a little personality. Hold me close and hold me close and never let tell me how you feel. Tell me love is real. Okay, a way to have fun with common chords. Not only does he slide into the D chord, but you can see what happens next. He takes that same grip. I'm sure he didn't let go of the guitar. He just glided silently up 1 fret. Now it's 3-4-3. Now it's technically it's an E flat chord. He wants to get to an E chord, and he maintains his fingers in this D formation. So he ends up on an E chord that feels like a D chord, but because it's at the 4th, 5th, and 4th frets, that's an E chord. Many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you might be thinking, how is that an E chord? It is. It's a D chord up 2 frets. That's an E chord. But instead of just strumming it, he slides into it. So that's what you're looking at right there. Sliding into a D chord, and then moving up 1 fret silently. And now I'm in a position to slide into that version of an E chord. Okay, little sliding effect from Mr. Buddy Holly. Okay, bear with me, folks. Okay. Make sure the world is not blowing up. All right. So moving on. Oh boy, if you thought Words of Love was kind of straightforward, no big deal, this is even easier. In the song called Oh Boy, Buddy Holly does an awful lot of really basic strumming on A, D, and E chords. Okay, if you can play A, D, and E, you're going to enjoy this. And I'm documenting this. I'm putting on the sheet here to point out that sometimes you just strum chords. Oh, my love, I've been kissing. Technically, is he capoed up here? No, he's not capoed up. Okay. Oh, my love, all my kissing. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy. Well, the world can see that you were meant for me. Okay, so, this is not the only song, by the way, where Buddy Holly was, quote, just strumming chords down and up. Okay, so why did I write A8 and then D8 and all that kind of stuff? Just to keep you oriented, 8 means 8 down ups. So he grabs an A chord and does 8 down ups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then he does it again, 8 more. Why didn't I just write A16? I thought about it. But counting to 8 twice is just more reasonable than counting up to 16. I realize we're talking about simple numbers here. A lot can happen between 0 and 16. Between 0 and 8, I don't know. I've seen it all. So I prefer to break it into 2 groups of 8. Okay, now don't worry about the entire song, right? For the moment, I just want you to see how, hey, if you go to school, if you go to Buddy Holly school, one thing that you're going to find that he employed was basic down-up strumming on regular common chords. I'm holding the pick very loosely. My upstrokes are simple, like glancing strokes off of 2 or 3 strings. Whatever you do, starting today, do not feel the need to make your upstrokes scrape across the maximum number of strings. That's not how you do it. Sometimes I neglect to mention that, and that's why I'm saying it right now. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy. Well, the world can see that you were meant for me. Okay, straightforward stuff. Again, the goal of this particular lesson, by the way, this is our segment called WTF, a weekly teaching feature. I forgot to mention that when we did our big D minor harmonized scale at the beginning of our live stream. WTF, weekly teaching feature. And so the scope of this weekly teaching feature is not how to play an entire Buddy Holly song. It's just to, number one, show you how some of his greatest songs look in tab like that, what he's doing, what he employs. And if I do my job right, hopefully I inspire you to learn his songs, but also to write your own songs using some of these techniques, right? Okay, moving on. Heartbeat. What a great riff. That sound that you're hearing, musically, those are known as thirds. It has to do with the musical distance between those 2 notes. Now, I know we're up in nosebleed territory for some of you, and the heartbeat riff right here, 12 and 14. But don't let that scare you, okay? Thirds sound beautiful, right? Song's called Heartbeat. You want nice, pretty, sounds like this. I highly encourage you to use your index and ring finger. Index on 12 on the easy E string, ring finger on 14 on the 2nd string. Please bring your thumb along for the ride. Your thumb should essentially be pointing up towards the ceiling. Your thumb should not be parallel to the neck, that's going to come back to bite you. Even if you get a good tone, you really want your thumb to be pointing straight up towards the ceiling, more or less. Do whatever you have to do to arch your fingers to get both of those notes to ring clearly. Okay, that 12-14 glides up the neck a little bit to 14-15. To make it easy, please do what I'm doing. My ring finger's on 14, it has to get to 15. It just glides up one fret. Done. I'm putting my middle finger down to cover the 14th fret on the first string. Could I have like scrunched my pointed finger up there and done my pointer? Yeah, I could have, but my middle finger is just waiting for something to do. So that 14-15 for the record. Middle finger on the 14 first string, ring finger 15 on the second string. The second half, it's all index and ring. Index 10 on the first string, ring finger 12 on the second string, up 2 frets, and back. Put it together. Such a pretty sound. Buddy Holly did not invent this, but it's something that he used to great effect. You know, it sounds so pretty. So thirds, that's the musical term for what you're playing there. Long story short, you could describe it as the first note of a major scale and the third note of a major scale. That's one way to describe it. It could be the first note of a minor scale and the third note of a minor scale, but you play them together and they sound pretty. So I'll leave it at that. Moving on. Okay, it's going to start getting a little bit tougher. Rave on. Now, in my mind, this is Chuck Berry. We're entering Chuck Berry territory here. Let's find the right page. Okay. 2 fingers. Index finger, 3rd fret on the E string, the fat E string. Ring finger, got to be the ring finger, 5th fret of the A string. Now, before you go any further than that, you got to get those 2 notes to sound good. Okay, how do you get them to sound good? Practice, practice, practice. But let me give you some tips. Arch your fingers. You should be on the tips of both fingers. It's not a problem if you lightly dampen out other strings. Say my index finger, I know you can't see it exactly, but my index finger is lightly touching a few extra strings. That's not a problem. You still want to be on the tip, tip, tip of each finger though. You're only going to strum those 2. Yeah, it's a power chord. Sam, thank you. I could have just said play a G power chord. But yeah, it's a power chord. Now what's unique is, now for some of you, that's a deal breaker. My hand is staying in place on that G power chord. Meanwhile, my pinky is reaching up to 7 on the 5th string. Some of you can do this, some of you can't do it yet. That's the key word, yet. I'm going to sing it down an octave. Little things you say and do make me want to be with you. Rave on. That's the sound we're going for, okay? Now, there's a trick to it besides just practice, practice, practice. The number one trick, or the number one thing you can't live without, is again your thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. You know, now I know you can't see it. It's good you can't. In fact, someone should not be able to see your thumb from the audience. It should be unintentionally hidden from them. It's not up like this, you know, pointing essentially up towards the ceiling, right on the curve, on the meat of the neck, you know. If my index finger is on 3 and my ring finger is on 5, my thumb is sort of parallel to the 4th fret, give or take. Okay, now your pinky may have no intention of doing what we wanted to do, which is reaching up to the 5th string, 7th fret. Now, here's how you get good at this. You move it up the neck. For the moment, you forget about Rave On by Buddy Holly. You move it up the neck much higher, as high as you want, so the frets are closer. Your index and ring still have to be separated by 1 fret, meaning if my index finger is on 9, my ring finger is on 11. The 10th fret is in between, right? But the frets are closer, right? They're more closely spaced. So it gets a little bit easier to do it 9, 11, and 13 with my pinky. I'm doing all downstrokes, 2 strokes without the pinky, and 2 strokes with the pinky. So bottom line, your fretting hand, make it go as high as your guitar will allow you to go, and work on doing it there first. And then little by little, ease back 1 fret at a time, and basically master it 1 fret area at a time until you can do it down at 3 and 5 and 7. No one wishes more than I wish that this great Buddy Holly song was not in the key of G. I wish it was not in the key of G. I wish he did it way up high. All right, there's your workout. But no matter what fret you can be successful at, be proud of that. This is not an easy thing to do. So if you can do it great at, 9, 11, and 13, that's awesome. Someday you'll need that in a song. But okay, so that's kind of a tricky thing. Okay, last thing. Again, back to the song Heartbeat. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. Okay, a very cool rhythm guitar part that it was new to me. I have never done this exact rhythm guitar part until I started doing the prep for this live stream. And now that I've done it, I'm going to save it for future use, of my own future use. See the chord diagram at the very top of the page? It's an A chord in 5th position, meaning your index finger, 2nd string, 5th fret, middle finger, 3rd string, 6th fret, ring finger, 4th string, 7th fret, 5, 6, 7. That is an A chord. It's related to the F chord moved up to 5, 6, and 7. And we're going to ignore the skinny string altogether. So no need to do any barring with your index finger. So we have the 5, 6, 7. Careful with your pick to only strum those notes. Now, we're not done. We haven't even started yet. Before you even start, plant your pinky, 2nd string, 7. Okay? Now we can start. Okay, first thing, 7 on the 4th string. That's where my ring finger is. Then Buddy Holly does a little rake across the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings with a downstroke. So far, we've done 2 downstrokes. Now, as soon as you finish that rake, kind of a deliberate scrape across the strings, take off your pinky. Now you've got the 5 on the 2nd string available. It's got to be an upstroke. I just did 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. Up, down, up, down, up. Got to be up, down, up, down, up. You put it all together. Now, I've heard this song many, 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 many years, and I never heard that exact rhythmic, rhythm guitar part. So my humble opinion is that's not a defining rhythm guitar part. That's not something that is off limits to the rest of us. You can borrow that little thing from Buddy Holly. And I'd be extremely surprised if anyone said, oh man, you're just stealing the riff from Heartbeat, Now, just so you know, he moves it up. He moves it up, I just do 5 frets. You're reflecting an A chord when you're at 5, 6, and 7, and a D. D is in delta when you move it up 5 frets. Just a cool riff, right? By the way, when you add that pinky note, at that precise moment, you are reflecting not just a major chord anymore. That note happens to be the 6th degree of the relevant major scale. And so for that brief moment, you were playing a major 6 chord. So back here at A, by the way, that's the note A, that first number 7, that's the note A. That little rake, those notes reflect an A major 6 chord. And then the rest is history. Just a cool riff. Okay, so questions, comments. DAC Poet says it sounds like Chuck Berry, right? That, yeah, I mean, early days of rock and roll, you can't escape that. Yeah, RB says go up to the 7th fret and practice. You're talking about for that shuffle pattern. By the way, the nickname for that Ray-Vaughan thing is a shuffle pattern. There's lots of shuffle patterns, but that's sort of one of the classics, that thing from Ray-Vaughan right there. Okay, the thing you're seeing on that screen will be available on my website very soon, very quickly after this live stream. It will be available to members of my website, which hopefully is you. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. Got it. The thing to click on to stop sharing and the thing to click on to end the whole live stream are too darn close to each other. And this is live stream number 125. It's possible that at some point in the past 125 live streams that I clicked on the wrong button and ended the live stream prematurely. This sounds like the kind of thing I would do once. Anyways, I wish they made those 2 buttons very far apart. Okay, I'm just looking at the comments here. Scott's saying, it's easy for me to get that pinky note if my thumb is closer to being behind the middle finger, but it needs work. Yeah. I want you to think of your thumb position as a fluid thing. You put your thumb wherever it needs to be, to serve the chord or whatever's going on. The last thing you want your thumb to feel like is a finger that's being locked in place, something that's cannot do anything but stay in one place. A mobile thumb, goes where it's needed. In general, though, you can't go wrong with having a thumb pointing up towards the ceiling. You will see people, including me, with a thumb wrapped around the neck just as a casual comfort thing. Here's my C chord. Well, but I got to admit, over the years, I've used the thumb to dampen out notes as well. If I'm playing a D major chord, my thumb is wrapping around partly just because it feels good, but also I can deaden the 6th string intentionally and then strum the other 5 notes. Well, D's not the best example because I could actually fret. Bottom line, getting sidetracked. Your thumb can go wherever it serves the music, so to speak. Beginning Guitar Lessons is encouraging you to give a thumbs up to this live stream. Thank you, Beginning Guitar Lessons. You guys might have heard me. I still think this is so funny. I can't like my own live stream until it's over. I go to that thumb and it just won't let me do it. So cruel. I do like it. As soon as the live stream is over, I give myself a like. Oh no, why not, man? Okay, so let's talk about a few things we haven't covered today. There's a bunch of things. I'm just going to bang these out. We have a poll question. It's not posted because YouTube is not letting me post poll questions. I don't know what's up with that. They used to until just recently. Poll question: do music awards matter to you? Are you likely to look at a performer, songwriter, singer, band a little bit differently when you hear they've been Grammy nominated or they have a Grammy award? Or do you really just want to make up your own mind and that kind of stuff goes in one ear and out the other? Hey, how about my own dumb question of the week, since we're talking about awards? My own dumb question. I ask it so you don't have to. Are there any awards besides Grammy Awards? Like, seriously, are there? It's a dumb question. There must be, right? Name me one award, one music award in the U.S. or outside the U.S. I know there's music awards in every country, but especially if you live here in the U.S., name me one music award that immediately pops into your head, like an annual award that comes to mind. Because I had to stop and think for a minute. I know they're out there. Sam is talking about the AMA, the American Music Awards. There you go. There's one. Yep. What else? What else comes to mind? It's my dumb question of the week. Awards are really important. right? They're super important. They make people feel good, and they, reflect, the industry or the fans or both, deciding who made great music in the past 12 months. So what are they? What other awards are out there? Yeah, there's got to be a few others. Who else knows some awards? Joseph says awards don't matter. If a song gets in my head, I'll check out the artist. Yeah. So now, because I did a little bit of a deep dive, I'm a little bit more up to date on the variety of music awards. And there's a bunch of them. Some of them I've never heard of, but there's a bunch of awards out there. And yeah, you get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the CMA Awards, the Country Music Awards, sure. How about Billboard? Billboard has the Billboard Awards. How about BET? There's the BET Awards. Didn't MTV used to have something? MTV's gone now, right? MTV, I'm sure they had People's Choice Awards, whatever. Yeah. Christian is saying, do I have a Jimi Hendrix song in my playlist? We did Hey Joe a long time ago as a weekly play-along thing. I don't know if we ever did any of the Jimi Hendrix songs. But what you're talking about is a super valuable thing. Jimi Hendrix had large hands, and he played a small guitar, meaning a typical Fender Stratocaster, a relatively small neck. And if you have big hands, a Fender neck will allow you to reach over and actually do stuff with your thumb. And Jimi Hendrix is famous for doing that. Yeah. And people who are very influenced by Jimi Hendrix, that's part of their style as well. Those people are certainly out there. Oh yeah, Scott is pointing out that there's the local awards, like the BAMIs, the Bay Area Music Awards in San Francisco. Yeah, Juno Awards from Canada. Marla Bond says there's a Juno Awards in Canada. Yeah. Well, that's my dumb question of the week. Like, are there other awards? There must be, right? And yeah, they're out there. They get announced at different times, I feel like, and they're aimed at different audiences, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, those awards are out there. Okay, what else? Let's bang out a few other things. How about famous artists who have never, ever won a Grammy? The Beatles, for a long time, had never received a Grammy until just a couple years ago, right? Was it the Free Like a Bird? What was that song that came out? The remaining Beatles added tracks to an existing John Lennon song. Was it called Free Like a Bird? Anyways, when they were a band, during their heyday, the Beatles never got a Grammy Award. Okay, who else has never won a Grammy Award besides me? And I'm guessing you. ABBA. ABBA never got a Grammy. Queen never got a Grammy. Patti Smith, Jimi Hendrix, the Beach Boys, no Grammys. Janis Joplin, Bob Marley, Diana Ross. Nothing. The Who, the Ramones, the Doors, the Grateful Dead. No Grammys. Buddy Holly. No Grammys. Journey, Chuck Berry, Rush, Heart, the Kinks. Those are some of the pretty famous, pretty successful artists, bands. No Grammys. So if you don't have a Grammy either, that's all right. Now, there's a lot of other people. Like that list could have been 10 times as long, but I figured I'd throw some of those names out there. Everyone you just heard, highly successful performing artist, never got a Grammy. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them got nominations. I hope they did. I don't know how that, who's got 1 million nominations? I think 15 different nominations and has never won a Grammy. Joe Satriani. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry, man. Any Joe Satriani fans out there? One of the most influential, highly respected guitar players of our current time. I mean, Joe Satriani, he's Joe Satriani. And he's been nominated so many times. How can you be nominated that many times and not get a Grammy? That's what Mrs. Satriani would like to know. What the heck? That's got to feel weird. I mean, do you even get out of bed on Grammy Day? Like, no, I hope he gets one someday, Joe, if I could vote. I knew a guy who was a voter for the Grammys. He had been a recording engineer on a song that either got a Grammy or was nominated for a Grammy. But whatever happened, he was then allowed to be a member of the voting community for the Grammys because of his involvement. Okay, what else? Let's bang out a few other things. Should I sell out this week? This week might be the week. Who got in touch with me to offer their product to you? The shoe company called Fila, F-I-L-A, Fila. The funny thing is, the one part of my wardrobe that you guys are almost never going to see are my shoes. If you guys see my shoes, something has gone terribly wrong with the camera or my mind. There's just no reason for you guys to see my shoes. So I'm going to pass on the assuredly wildly generous offer from Fila. I'm sure it was in the high seven figures for me to promote their shoes to you. I'm going to pass, even though their letter, their email seemed perfectly sincere. I don't think they know who I am and what I do, but that didn't stop them from reaching out and taking a chance that I might want to sell out to Fila and help sell their products to you. That's who tried to get me to sell out this week. Let's talk about, let's get back to some awards. Here are 5. I'm going to make this quick. 5 very talented performers / bands that have all been nominated for Grammys, and maybe one of them will get a Grammy tomorrow night. 5 different folks in 5 different categories. And I have vetted these people, and I think they're all super talented. And in the description of this live stream will be links so you can check out these folks. Okay, here's who I would recommend checking out. For Best Jazz Performance, you know who was nominated for a Grammy? Lakeisha Benjamin, a performance called Noble Rise. She's an alto sax player. Best Jazz Performance, Lakeisha Benjamin, Noble Rise. How about Best Alternative Jazz Album? Nate Smith. Nate Smith is a drummer, and on this album called Live Action, he plays a lot of the different instruments himself, way beyond just the drums, but he also has other people joining him. So yeah. Best Alternative Jazz Album, Nate Smith with Live Action, another nominee. Oh man, very, very, very cool. Best Traditional Blues Album, Maria Moldauer. Who doesn't love Maria Moldauer? She made an album called 1 Hour Mama, the blues of Victoria Spivey. And she's been nominated for Best Traditional Blues Album, Maria Moldauer, 1 Hour Mama. How about Best Regional Roots Music Album? Nominated this year, Trombone Shorty. Who doesn't love Trombone Shorty? Trombone Shorty and the New Breed Brass Band, an album called Second Line Sunday. They were nominated for Best Regional Roots Music Album. And one more, Best Global Music Album. Who was nominated? Shakti, S-H-A-K-T-I, Shakti. An album celebrating 50 years of being together. The album is called Mind Explosion. John McLaughlin, some of you guitar players will recognize the name John McLaughlin. He's part of that group. Shakti, the album called Mind Explosion, the 50th Anniversary Tour Live. Very cool stuff. Links to all those people will be in the description of this live stream. There we go. And I encourage you to check out all those. Am I going to watch the Grammys tomorrow night? Yeah, I'll watch them out of curiosity. But sadly, many of the people that I have mentioned probably won't be featured on stage at the Grammys. But there you go. Okay, check. It's not too late for you to get a question in. Another segment I call Who's in Town? You know who's coming through town? A very cool acoustic Irish group called Gadan, G-A-D-A-N. Banjo, guitar, fiddle, kind of a Celtic bluegrass mix. Very cool stuff. G-A-D-A-N, Gadan. They're coming through my town. Maybe they're going to be touring through your town too. Also coming through my town in the coming days, very soon, Bobby Rush, blues singer Bobby Rush, born 1933. Folks, he's been around for a while. He was born in 1933, and he sounds great. Don't take my word for it. In the description of this live stream will be a link to a video of Bobby Rush performing recently. Sounds great, looks great. Catch him if you can. Bobby Rush is coming through my town, and he'll be coming through your town. Over 90 years old. Holy moly. Wait till you see the video. Moving on, student quote of the week. This particular quote of the week, it came from a student, but he was quoting a guitar manufacturer. And I'm going to wet my whistle. Stick around for 1 second because you're going to want to hear this quote of the week. Uh-oh. The apple cider tastes a little funky. Whew. It's good, though. Whew. It's not supposed to burn, is it? So the student quote of the week. One of my students recently said that he heard an interview with Bob Taylor of Taylor Guitars. Many of you own a Taylor guitar. Obviously, one of the most successful guitar companies, but they are relatively new on the market compared to Gibson guitars and Martin guitars that have been around for a long time. So he heard Bob Taylor reflecting on what Taylor Guitars has been through over the decades they've been in business compared to what Martin Guitars has been through since Martin Guitars were, first made way, way, way back. And Bob Taylor put it this way. He said, Taylor Guitars survived disco. Martin Guitars survived the Civil War. Ooh, that gives you some perspective. Martin Guitars have been around for a long time. So there's the quote of the week. Not literally a student quote of the week exactly, but that put things in a little bit of perspective for me. I love that. So there's a quote attributed to Bob Taylor of Taylor Guitars. And that's our quote of the week right there. Okay, check. I'm looking in the chat. Yes, Sam, I think this might have turned to vinegar. It's probably still perfectly healthy for me, but just I wasn't expecting that burn. Yeah, Scott Scott, you're making a great point. Scott is saying that Buddy Holly thing we did up the neck, the thing that he did, putting the guitar on your opposite leg. For me, that would be my left leg, and maybe even putting your left foot up on some sort of, comfortable footrest. That can also have a helpful effect into making that stretch. Listen, it's what classical guitar players do, and they know what they're doing. All the technique that classical guitar players employ, it's the end result of decades, if not centuries, of how to play the guitar. And if classical guitar players put it on their opposite leg, for me that would be my left leg, and put their left foot on a footrest, we all probably should do that. But most of us, we're too busy being cowboys. We put it on our right leg. Yeah, but Scott, that's a great tip. So yeah, try that out. Can't hurt. Randy, thanks for being here. Randy is heading out to do dinner theater. Excellent. Thanks for being here, Randy. Okay. Sam, you're pointing out that there's a category of spoken word albums for the Grammys as well. Yeah, spoken word. Yeah, very interesting. DIC Poet is asking about other guitar players if they have Grammys, like Steve Vai and Eric Johnson. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Easy to Google it and find out. Dave, thanks for being in the chat. Dave said, I love what you did last week. The C chord to the C major 7. Yeah. Hey, for fun, since you guys have stuck around this long, let's throw that up on the screen real quick as well. In case any of you missed it last week. And those of you who did it last week, it can't hurt to look at it one more minute. I gave this the name, The Ultimate Chord Progression. And you know what? I'll stand behind that. In terms of pop music, this is certainly a very valuable, sophisticated, interesting chord progression. And that's what Dave is talking about. Remember this? C major to C major 7 to C dominant 7 to F minor to G7 back to C. Yeah, very cool. I had fun writing that down. I've been doing that with my in-person students this week as well. The ultimate chord progression. Essentially, it's a CFG chord progression, but you're taking the long way, you know. There are many songs written with that exact chord progression, and there's many more written with an extremely similar chord progression. Something about that, a major chord changing to the major 7, changing to the 7th chord, and then eventually getting to the 4 chord. Yeah. What you're looking at right there, folks, is a PDF available on my website. It's just labeled The Ultimate Chord Progression. Yeah. All right, you guys. You have been with me for quite a while tonight. I think we covered lots of the stuff I hoped to cover. Look at that. Look at that. I look forward to reading in the chat what you guys are saying about the context of awards. This means a lot to performers, right? So that they can say they're Grammy nominated or even Grammy Award winners. I was thinking about why I get such a kick out of doing a deep dive and scratching the surface. It's to be even just to be nominated in these categories. What a huge recognition, right? And there's a lot of categories, ones that we haven't even talked about on this program. A lot of categories. In a reason why it means a lot to me to be exposed to all these different people just by going through the list and seeing who's nominated, people I've never heard of. For a lot of these folks, it might be the only recognition they get. They're out there touring, making albums, playing gigs, but they're not millionaires. But they're being recognized, by the recording industry. It's amazing. So it really is to me, there's this weird dichotomy with this huge, very visible, very public, presentation, nominations, awards, all that stuff, juxtaposed with these people who work so hard, who may have relatively small careers based on, the amount of income they make and the size of the venues they play, the size of the audiences they play for. But the level of talent is so high. So it's just interesting to me that, you can be nominated, maybe even win one of these awards. Knock on wood, it bumps your career way up. I'm not sure, but it must be such a trip to be working so hard and not be a very public, famous person, but you're getting the same award as those people. And I just hope that everybody who is nominated, that can somehow bump up their careers a little bit. So in a way, that's partly why I'm putting the spotlight on Lakeisha Benjamin and Nate Smith and Maria Moldauer and Trombone Shorty and Shakti. I don't know. Number one, I hope you guys will dig it and enjoy some new music. But number two, it's, many of those people I just named are not young folks. Shakti has been around for 50 years, so I think, the more attention they get, the better. That's where I'm coming from. All right, you guys, I think let's end on that note. If you watch the Grammys tomorrow night, think of me, I'll be watching too. We'll see what happens. And we're here to make good music no matter what, right? We don't need awards. We're having fun. All right, you guys, that'll do it for me. My weekend begins now. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. March 15th, make a note. It's a Sunday afternoon. Me and my band, we're going to be playing a bunch of our own original material live for you from our very cool rehearsal space. Knock on wood, we're going to have multiple cameras going, multiple microphones, and a bunch of good tunes that I think you like, tunes you've never heard before, a couple of original tunes that you have heard before if you've watched our performances that I stream on YouTube. But it should be very fun. March 15, the Ides of March. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'll tell you more as it gets closer, but it should be a lot of fun. So that's what's going on with me. All right, you guys, stay warm. Those of you who are in the throes of winter weather, stay warm. And we'll see you guys next Saturday night. All right, you guys, take care. Bye.